get together and do that.
We'll do that.
soon.
I promise you. You pay for the green fee and I'll do it.
I'll do it.
All right. Well, let's go over to Chuck Day. A great song, Love Flowed.
In the Garden of Gethsemane, in the cold of night he knelt, and he prayed, Father, let this cup pass, as to all his faith he held. And he agonized so hard until his sweat became his blood. And in the darkness there and all alone, his love began to flow. A few days pass and there he stands, alone in Pilate's hall, stripped of all his dignity, but he said nothing at all. And behind him stands a mighty man, whose whip begins to fall. A bloody back and a crown of thorns as his love began to flow. And then later on I see him as he's led out to a hill. The pain is great, but still he knows it is his Father's will. And then a soldier nails his hands and feet to the cross, as we all know. And then a spear is thrust into his side, and once again his love flowed. Oh, his love flowed freely on the cross of Calvary, where he shed his blood so all mankind from death could be set free. And the stripes were for our healing, and the nails were for our sin. No greater love could one man show when his blood began to flow. Oh, his love flowed freely on the cross of Calvary, where he shed his blood so all mankind from death could be set free. And the stripes were for our healing, and the nails were for our sin. No greater love could one man show when his blood began to flow. And I cry each time I think of how his love began to flow.
Chuck Day, Love Flowed. Chuck has been kind enough to co-host on today's show, and we appreciate him taking time to come up from Georgia and be with us on the Louisiana Country Gospel Hayride. Well, we're sitting here, Steve, having a good time, but it's just about wrapped up, buddy.
It's all right, brother. We'll
do it again.
Yes, sir.
Steve, No Hillbilly Heaven. Give me a little bit on that song there. I'm familiar. I am the guy who found that song for you.
You turned me on to it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dean Kreger is the writer. Bill Texter's wife calls him Uncle. I suppose that's her uncle, unless they call it. But I tell you, Doug, it's got that song. When I heard it, the words jumped out at me, and I'll not sing a song unless it's got a message.
Something grabs you.
Yeah.
There's no hillbilly heaven. As I listened to the words of this song, the reason I thought of you when I heard it the first time, because it just kind of went right down your testimony line.
Ooh.
Just like the song that you also sang, a robe, a ring, and a crown.
Yes.
And but are you going to be singling There's No Hillbilly Heaven?
Yes, eventually. Yeah, we're going to sing a robe, ring, and a crown first, and then There Ain't No Hillbilly Heaven.
That kind of reminds me of that Kitty Wills song, God Didn't Make Honky-Tonk Angels.
Well, they ain't. I tell you, I appreciate what Chris and Chuck was talking about. You got to be born again. Nicodemus asked Jesus. He says, how can a man enter into his mother's womb the second time? And he says, unless he be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. And I guarantee you, folks, it's time now we get serious with Jesus, because he's coming soon. And you got to be ready.
And I think so many people are not ready for anything.
Nah, I tell you what God showed me through my ministry. People have lost the fear of God, brother.
That's right.
They just, they don't care. They think, you know what, I made the remark the other night? I said God ought to do like he did Ananias and Sapphira and strike them dead.
Good thing we're not God. We'd kill a bunch of them. I know a whole bunch of guys I'd line up and knock down right now. No, that's just a joke, son.
Like old Robert Duvall said, we on the devil's hit list, but we're on Jesus' mailing list.
That's right. That's all right. Well, I tell you what, I appreciate it,
Brother, I
Steve.
appreciate you.
You're a
We
blessing.
love you, man. We
I love your
family.
ministry. I love your preaching. I love your singing. And we have really got to be close over the last year or so. And
I'm going to be moving closer to you now,
well,
2 hours away.
Oh, God help me.
We got to play that chorus again up there.
We shall.
Oh,
we shall.
man.
I guarantee we'll do it. Well, we appreciate you being tuned into the Louisiana Country Gospel Hayride. God bless you, and hope something's been said or sung that blessed your life.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to write us with your comments and product order. And may you personally have the joy of knowing Jesus Christ in his fullness. West Monroe, Louisiana is the Louisiana Country Gospel Hayride, featuring gospel recording artists from across the country. And the First Lady of Christian Country Music, Judy DeRamus. Also featuring from Nashville, Tennessee, the Ambassador of Country Gospel Music, Don Richmond. Get your pen and paper. You'll want to write us and have these guests come and sing for you. Now, here's your host, Doug DeRamus.
Well, welcome. We got a good program lined up, and we want you to call someone and let them know that the Louisiana Country Gospel Hayride is on the air. And I want you to welcome my first guest and my co-host, Chuck Day, all the way from Georgia.
How are you?
I never can pronounce the name of the town that you guys live in Georgia.
Houston.
Right. Exactly the way I'd say it if I could.
Exactly. It's near Hog Mountain.
And where else is it near?
Brazelton.
Okay, we're getting serious now.
Atlanta.
Well, okay, now I know where Atlanta's at. That's
We're about 30 miles.
That's in East Texas.
Right.
Atlanta, Texas, right?
Exactly. Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, Chuck, what are you going to do for us right now to kick the program off?
The song that Greg, my little brother, wrote called I've Been Delivered.
I've Been Delivered.